Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Phandalin's Townmaster, Harbin Wester. Now, the reason why we're going to talk about Phandalin's Townmaster, Harbin Wester, is I've been thinking about him because of some good news I wanted to share with you. It's some personal good news. I am a church elder. This happened literally today. I'm super excited. It's like a 2-month process. So the way it works. So I go to a friendly local church, right? So basically, I'm in an evangelical church. It's got 300 people. It's a huge part of my life. And this does, we'll swing it back around to Harbin Wester on how this connects to Dungeons and Dragons, because it was really making me think about, Phandalin's Townmaster Harbin Wester is a really important guy. Like, so many adventures happen in Phandalin, and I'm this election to church elder has really made me think about him. So let me get all the way there. So basically, my church, we have about 300 people, and it's literally, just a local church. It's evangelical Christian. It's a huge part of my life. My entire family serves. Every single member of my family has a ministry in the church. I have multiple ministries in the church. Before I was an elder, I was the tech lead in my church. I am the tech. I still have all these ministries. I'm the tech lead in my church. I'm a lead in my small group, and I lead Bible studies when they're done a couple times a year, and so I lead Bible studies. So I already have 3 ministries in the church, and I was really surprised to be elected as a church elder, and I'm very happy about it. I'm really excited about it, right? And it's me getting increased responsibilities and being able to vote on what actually happens in our church, right? Like, literally deciding the fate of multiple programs in the church, and really being on the board, ready, on the ground, getting actual power in the church, right, to make real changes, right? And I'm a little shocked to be here. And the reason why is so one, I'm incredibly comfortable with leadership, right? But for many years, I've been in many churches, and I've always wanted to reach the elder position, or I wanted to be I wanted to move into leadership in our churches, but I've really kind of been blocked from it. And the reason why is I'm a pretty non-traditional guy. Like, you guys know me, I'm intense, I'm adamant. A lot of people don't like that, right? And I hate small talk with a burning passion, right? I'm a big talker, right? I want to talk, you touch a topic, I want to go straight to the heart of it and talk about the most controversial aspects of it. A ton of people hate this stuff, and it's really kept me out of leadership for a long time, right? Because people are like, oh, he talks about politics and religion, and it's kind of strange that talking about politics and religion in a church would be problematic, but it's problematic, right? And so I'm really shocked to be here. And so the process for us was, I had to be nominated by somebody in the church. So somebody in the church put my name on the list to be an elder. Oh, and by the way, I was a deacon, so I served as a deacon too. So I've had a lot of ministries in the church, right? So somebody put my name on the list. Then that list goes to a committee. That committee takes people off the list before they're even voted on, right? And so what would get you taken off of the list for elder? One, if you're not a member, right? Membership is you got to make a commitment, and membership is a gauntlet you go through, and a ton of church people don't go through membership. They're just I'm not dealing with all that, right? But it cuts you off. They're hey, if you're not going to be committed to this church, right, in an actual formal way, and say, hey, I'm allied with this church, I'm here for it, let's do it, they're not going to give you more power or more abilities, right? It's just the way it works in our modern churches, right? So I am a member, but if you weren't a member or some other, they'll just take you right off the list, right? And so basically, then if you stay on the list, then they publish your name in the bulletin for 3 weeks. Everybody knows you're coming. They're hey, this knucklehead got, and it's weird because I wear shorts to church and a t-shirt frequently, right? And I'll get comments from older members of hey, Scott, you're in church, and I'm yeah, I know I'm in church, right? And I do it on purpose because when people come in, I want people who don't have a lot of money and can't afford a 3-piece suit to feel comfortable, right? And I'm there every week with my entire family sitting in the pews or serving, And I want them to know, hey, everybody, you know, if you've got a Batman t-shirt, you could be part of this church and you could wear it right here. You know, like, and so it's a choice, right? But I also thought, you know, that was going to keep me out, right? So basically, they published my name in the bulletin for 3 weeks, and then the church voted, and you have to get a 75% vote across the church, and I was unanimously voted in. I was extremely excited, and now I'm a church elder, right? So where do we go with Dungeons and Dragons? So one of the things is that I'm realizing is this is, hey, you know, I'm Scott Garibay. I'm going to be given more power and more responsibility in the church, right? And I was already a leader in the church. I was a leader in my small group, right? So where do we land with this with Dungeons and Dragons? And this made me think a lot about Phandalin's Townmaster Harbin Wester, right? Now, he is notorious for not being a good leader. He's blustery, he's arrogant, right? He's kind of heavy set, right? Like, and he's never written up as a good leader, right? But he's been in Phandalin for years, right? And he's been throwing it down, doing his job. And there is a crap ton of adventures that happen in Phandalin, right? Like, everybody uses Townmaster Harbin Wester at, you know, the leader of Phandalin, right? And he's been there for years, right? Decades, right? And like, Phandalin just keeps chugging along, and he does what he can. He's not great, but he's not terrible, right? And I kind of feel like that's where I'm at with my church. Like, there's like, you know, these pillars of the church who, you know, do 100 things, and like, I serve, but I'm a real person. I'm just like you know, I'm not some super godly dude, right? You guys know me, like, you know, I definitely flawed, right? So I'm pretty shocked that I would get, you know, put into the elder slot. And so, but I was thinking about, you know, Townmaster Harbin Wester, and here's what I want you to do. I'm requesting you, right, to take Phandalin's Townmaster Harbin Wester and bring him into Waterdeep as a masked lord. It's time, right? It's time for Harbin Wester, who's had to have his village attacked by goblins, who's had to have his, you know, Phandalin, his little, you know, the village, the town of Phandalin, attacked by our young green dragons, right? Had to have it attacked by Ankegs, right? He has done his job of leadership through thick and thin, right? And I think it's time for Phandalin's Townmaster Harbin Wester to come to the big leagues, right? To get called up into Waterdeep to be a masked lord, right? And why would this happen? Well, one, right? You could do this because one of the masked lords is murdered. Dun dun dun. Campaign history, right? Why? What happened? And they need somebody right away, right? And the people who are already there are aligned with factions, or you know, and L'Ariel Silverhand, right, doesn't really want, you know, there are people who are queued up to take the position, the Masked Lord's position, but she's like, I don't want any of these. They're too strong. They're too strongly aligned with current factions, and it could tip the balance of the Masked Lords, right? And so, you know, these are very real concerns, and I think it'd be really nice to shake things up in your Dungeons and Dragons Faerun setting, right? So one, the moment you pull out Phandalin's Townmaster Harbin Wester, what happens? Who becomes the leader there? Is it one of your player characters? Who saved the village 2 weeks ago and then gets a letter, you know, while they're off in Neverwinter, saying the entire town of Phandalin is calling back you as a player character to be the mayor, right? Like, that's exciting, right? The other thing is when Townmaster Harbin Wester accepts the role as a masked lord, right? In Waterdeep, right? How does he change the political balance there, right? These are all very exciting, like, interesting options, right? And I feel like, you know, Townmaster Harbin Wester's been throwing it down for a long time. He's been serving, you know, nobly. And he's been doing the best he can. He ain't a great leader, right? Like, but if you've been noticing, America's got a few slots where we don't have the best leaders in. We just got people who are willing to serve and have been in position for a long time, right? And I think we should model that out in our D&D games to some extent, right? So I'm asking you, bring Phandalin's Townmaster Harbin Wester up. This is an exciting change for your game. You know, put some change into Phandalin, or put some change into Waterdeep. And just like me, sometimes just a schmuck gets lucky and gets elevated. It happens. So, I'm very excited about this. I just wanted to share it with you. Thanks for letting me share this personal achievement. I'm very excited about this, right? And I really didn't expect I would land here. So just wanted to share that with you. Thanks for letting me share that with you. Consider bringing up Townmaster Harbin Wesper. He's been serving a long time. I think he deserves a little bit of shine. That's my take. What do you think? Right? Are you going to take Harbin Master, Townmaster Harbin Wester in your campaign and move him up? Or are you going to leave him right where he is? I'd love to hear. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.